And it really goes to prove that if you don't measure something, nothing will be done about it.
And we have to make New Jersey's business climate more attractive for entrepreneurs.
We are Wonder Women. Like, look at all these women and what they've done and what they've tried. And even if they didn't succeed, they gave it a shot.
I don't think it's fair to put a $4 or $5 billion price tag on middle-class New Jerseyans.
We've got a great lifestyle here, and I don't want to see it ruined because politicians can't manage our finances properly.
Welcome, I'm Lisa Allen, and this is As a Matter of Fact. We are filming from Hometown TV Studios in Summit, New Jersey. Today, I will be speaking with Bob Hugin, the former CEO of Celgene, who is also running for the U.S. Senate. Bob was born and raised in New Jersey. He's a Marine, and Bob was the first in his family to attend college and earn a full scholarship to Princeton University. He then earned an MBA from the Darden School of Business. Bob has spent the last 19 years as a leader and vocal advocate for modernizing the American healthcare system, and currently sits on the Board of Trustees of Princeton University, the Darden Foundation at the University of Virginia, as well as Family Promise. Welcome, Bob. It's so great to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. It's a beautiful day finally. No more rain, hopefully.
That's great.
So, you know, I know you pretty well. You're from Summit. You were the CEO of Celgene, so you're very well known in Summit. For the viewers out there who haven't heard your story yet, it is phenomenal. You're from New Jersey. You come from very modest means. So before we jump into the politics, because I love to do that, I really want the viewers to understand who you are and the journey that you've been on to be sitting in this chair running for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's great to be here. As many people may know or may not know, my wife and I have lived in Summit for 27 years now, and we raised our 3 kids here. Hillary, my daughter, who now works at Chobani Yogurt in New York City, and my 2 sons, Robbie and Mac, who both serve as officers in the Marine Corps. So Summit's been a great part of our life. So it's great to be here for this interview, to be in Summit. I've been traveling all 21 counties of the state, so it's nice to come back home here and spend a little bit of time talking about the issues that are really relevant to Summit and the people of Summit, all the people of New Jersey. But I am living the American dream, Lisa. I'm lucky, born in Jersey City, raised in Union City. As you said, first in my family to go to college, and from a good family. My mother, who's a great part of our family, an inspiration to me, we celebrated her 98th birthday a few weeks ago. And she's New Jersey too, and she was actually the valedictorian of the class of 1937 at Toms River High School, but in those days, farm girls didn't go to college, and she's one of the inspirations for me in the sense that set my values and really the sense of equality and really equal opportunity. And one of the reasons I'm running today is really because I think a lot of the hope for the American dream has been so diminished, and every kid in this state should feel and have the true opportunity to achieve their full potential. And I don't feel that today anymore. And I'm blessed with having had a great life where public school teachers cared about me and helped me, even though 10 or 15% of the kids I went to high school with at Emerson and Union City went on to college. My teachers still inspired us to try and achieve the most out of your life. And so I really live the American dream, and I want to make sure it's available to others. And talk a little bit later about why I've gotten into this, but I'm blessed. We're hopefully Memorial Day weekend here. It's somber in some ways that for the holiday to recognize people have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. But it's a family weekend for us. We're hopeful both our sons are going to come home, that one is getting ready to go off. They're both infantry officers. My daughter's going to be with us. So it's a great holiday weekend. But Summit's been a big part of our life, and we're lucky that we have the quality of life here, and I want to make sure that's maintained for people in New Jersey all throughout the state.
Right. Well, you are a Marine, and so my father-in-law is a Marine, and what I've learned is when a Marine is on the job, they get it done.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'll tell you, when I was very fortunate. My mother, one of the lessons I took, my mother said, always give back, always serve others, and if you have a little bit more, you should share it with others. And Princeton opened up the world to me. Here's a kid from Union City, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid going off to college. The world was open to me. But I also knew at that time I should give back and serve. So I joined the Marine Corps out of Princeton. They offered me a 2.5-year obligation. I stayed for 7 because I worked for charismatic leaders. And there's 2 lessons I still take away from my experience in the Marine Corps. One is the importance of a strong national defense. You can't have the liberties and freedoms we have here at home if you're not strong and thwart any people who want to be offensive against you. So strong national defense helps us be secure and safe and live the freedoms that we have. I actually just came back spending last week in Israel, and you see how uncertain things can be if you don't feel that secure at home. And so, very important lesson. The other one I learned in the Marine Corps was, if you have a common mission, a common purpose, the best way to accomplish it is through selfless leadership, to help others be successful. You have a higher probability of achieving your goal if you help others be successful, and you have a higher probability of achieving your own personal success if you help others be successful. And I've tried to put that to work throughout my life. And so I'm blessed in so many different ways, and the Marine Corps is a big part of my life in terms of forming my values along with my family and my wife. We've been married for more than 30 years, and I think that you can't have better than strong values and strong families.
Yeah. How did your family react when you told them you wanted to run?
It was interesting discussions. I think we have a very strong family, very independent, different types of people, different interests, but people who are strong bonds with all of us, a great, loving, caring family. They're incredibly supportive. My wife's a little more of a private person than me. She's very active in the community on the Institutional Review Board at Atlantic. She's a prior trustee of Kent Place School and the Pingree School, and a trustee of Georgetown University, very involved in ethics institutes and healthcare. She has a master's in public health from Columbia, very focused on community health and really how do we make sure people have access and affordability of the kind of healthcare that they deserve in our state and our country. But they were concerned, but I have to tell you, it was really my wife in the end that said, Bob, you have to do this. That your opponent, Senator Menendez, it's just morally offensive to us and to her and to me too, and all of our family, that he would run virtually unopposed if I hadn't stepped in. This wasn't really part of my life's plan or dream to do this, but we felt New Jersey deserved better. And if I didn't step in to bring my personal resources and my experiences, my skills to bear to deal with the issues that New Jersey needs, he would run unopposed. And that just is bad for democracy, bad for New Jersey, and frankly, we also felt we don't want our children, our grandchildren to say, this is the senior elected official in New Jersey, and he has violated the public trust. You saw recently bipartisan, unanimous Democrats and Republicans, hard to say that in Washington, happened too often, and the Senate Ethics Committee said he violated the law, he abused the power of his office, he disgraced the Senate, he disgraced New Jersey. And what's really worse about it, or as bad of it, is he's failed the people of New Jersey. In 25 years in Washington, 16 years with a Democratic president, New Jersey ranks 50 out of 50 from what we get back from Washington versus what we put there as a percentage. The worst of any state in the country.
You know, I'm glad you bring that up because that's one of your platform issues. Talk about that. Why don't we get more back in New Jersey?
Well, I think part of the problem is that if you only have influence in the Senate on one side of the aisle, though I'm obviously biased, and I think Governor Murphy, as a governor of the state, would be better off to have somebody in the Senate in each party to argue for the best interests of New Jersey.
Right. I
think many people have put partisan politics and party over people, and haven't said we've got to do what's best for the people. And I can give you many examples of that. I just think New Jersey is, and really I'd say the slogan of my campaign is New Jersey first, not labels. I'm an independent person. I've always been independent my whole life. We need to change things. We need to put New Jersey first. I have so many examples of where we've let New Jersey take the short end of the stick. And when you think about the American economy over the last 100 years, it's come through New Jersey. We wouldn't have the expansion in so many different states westward or north and south from us, the Port of New York coming through New Jersey. And so our transportation, our bridges are old and infrastructure needs massive renovation and rebirth of the infrastructure. And we deserve it. We've contributed to the growth of this entire country, but yet people say, tough luck. We have to focus on that. But we also have to make sure they understand it's in their economic interest, like the Gateway and the Portal Bridge. These things need to be done 20 years ago, not today. Right. And it's good for the New York economy, good for the Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania economy. We got to regionally get together and say, we need to fix these things, and New Jersey's part of the fix.
Right. So you're right, there are a lot of issues right now. We have healthcare, the healthcare and pensions are broken. They're consuming our budget. Transportation is broken. The school funding is broken. You once said that a mentor told you, go to where the problems are to make the most positive change. So in New Jersey, there's a lot that you could tackle.
Yes.
Where would you start? What are the most salient issues that you would want to tackle so you could make the most positive change?
There was a Marine general who gave me that advice, and I followed it the rest of my life, because I think leaders go where the problems are. You don't go where things are good and you make them a little bit better. If you really want fundamental change, you go where the problems are. And government has failed the people of New Jersey, and New Jersey's unaffordable. We're really at the tipping point, and the latest tax bill, which is very good for good parts of the economy, the tax reform of late last year, it was good for many parts of the economy. In fact, 62%, I think it's estimated, of New Jerseyans are going to get a federal tax reduction. About 29% are going to have no change to their taxes, and about 9% are going to have a pretty significant increase. And that's the higher end. And generally, you say we want our taxes to be progressive. We want the people who are well off and more capable of paying more to pay more. And I support that, but we're at the tipping point in New Jersey. And I don't know what your research and your anecdotal evidence shows you, but I can't believe what I'm hearing throughout the state of this is leading to an acceleration of the out-migration of people who have higher earnings. And what that does is really negative on many different levels. First, it lowers tax revenues. Okay, but we can live with that. But they also take their philanthropy and their capital with them. And when you combine that with the fact that the fastest rate of out-migration in New Jersey is the 18 to 34-year-old, and you think about the jobs of the future. So we're going to talk about jobs and the economy. I think a McKinsey study or a recent study talked about that more than half of the jobs in New Jersey 10 or 12 years from now are either going to be new jobs that don't exist today, or jobs that exist today only in title, and the skills and capabilities needed to do them are going to be 100% different than the skills needed today. And you lose the capital of the wealthier people in the state, and you're losing the people 18 to 34, the people that apply the technology, information technology, to revolutionizing our economy, and we don't have them here. It's bad for the future of jobs in New Jersey.
It is. Why? I mean, I know that biotech is really big in New Jersey, but could it be bigger? I mean, we're always talking like Silicon Alley in New York. There's a lot of the biotechs, they leave for Boston, they go to California. So they're not leaving for tax breaks. They're going to cold weathered places that have high taxes. Why is New Jersey losing so much?
Well,
from your perspective?
It has been a longer term phenomenon. And some of it is affordability. There are parts of the healthcare industry that we lose because it's high expensive taxes. And many people, the CEOs of the largest companies in New Jersey, live in Pennsylvania. So we got to be careful. We're losing a lot for affordability. But I am more optimistic about the potential of life sciences in New Jersey, because our university systems are really starting to collaborate more effectively and are focused on building that innovation ecosystem. Rutgers, I think Bob Barchi is a great president there. The integration of the medical school into the university is allowing for more connection between basic research in the life sciences and the medical research and the medical school and clinical studies. And at Princeton, it's really an emphasis on having more impact on the outcome, and great leadership there. I think we're going to see a stronger innovation ecosystem in New Jersey. But we do need better public policies to encourage those businesses that invented here to stay here. And so I think we've lost a lot of ground in the life sciences area. It's really a shame about how part of that's the educational system in Boston has been collaborative and supportive of invention and applying the discoveries into helping people's issues in there. I think New Jersey has a potential to do better if we encourage it and foster that kind of public policy and action that lets them know we want them to be here.
Well, and it's interesting too, I feel like the time is ripe. So when Governor Murphy ran, he said he ran on the fact that he was going to raise taxes $1.6 billion. He's living up to that. And why we're living in a very rare time is there is bipartisan support from Democrats and Republicans that high taxes right now is not the answer. And that Senate President Sweeney even said, he's like, we are structurally broken. We need to fix how we actually tax and no more new taxes. And I think some of that goes back to the SALT, which is the state and local taxes, so we don't get to deduct more than $10,000 off of our taxes. While that might make New Jersey suffer, I also feel like it was a really opportune time for us to look at the tax structure and say, what are the right things to do for New Jerseyans right now? What do you think about that?
Well, I think the first thing, that when you're 50 out of 50 and you take away any subsidy from the state, it's wrong, right? So Senator Menendez on the Finance Committee sat on his hands and let that cap be at 10%, $10,000. If he had been involved, maybe it could have been 15,000. And the reason why it's even worse on this cap on state and local taxes is that when people leave the state, what we're seeing now is a reassessment of the higher end housing stock. And what that's going to mean is that housing prices are going to come down on the high end. We're not going to collect less property taxes. It's the middle class that's going to be left holding the bag on the property taxes. And so that's why it's really so unfair. New Jersey can't afford any more subsidies taken away from it. We get the least back from anybody. So affordability is the #1 issue for New Jersey. You want to stay here. You don't want to be with your kids to come back. You know, I have to tell you, this whole campaign, the only thing I found so far where New Jersey is #1 on, New Jersey's #1 with the highest percentage of 20-year-olds living with their parents. Because every kid between 18 and 34 who can leaves, the ones that can't live at home. We're #1 in the number of kids living at home. And as soon as they find affordability, they go to jobs someplace else. So we've got to change that. We have to be a place where 18 to 34-year-olds, whether they go to college in New Jersey or go someplace else, come back here or stay here and build the economy of the future. Public policy orienting the kind of skills and education that will make our workforce skilled and capable of doing the kind of jobs of the next 5 or 10 years. Think about how information technology has transformed so many parts of our economy. If we don't get with it as a state, we're going to be left even further behind. And with that kind of pension and welfare benefit costs that we have, pension liabilities and post-retiree health care benefits, we're never going to get out of it. We're going to implode. So we've got to draw the line, put some light at the end of the tunnel, and that's really why I'm running, to give people hope. We're going to change this.
Would you work across the aisle, given the chance?
I tell you, all of us have become too partisan. The people need to be put first. I've been independent all my life. We have to work with people who care about New Jersey. If the president is going to do bad things for New Jersey, I'm going to stand up to him and fight him. If he does good things for New Jersey, I'll work so hard with him, no matter who you are. We all need to be more independent, put people over partisan and politics and party. We've got to do it. There's no future if we don't come and work better together.
I completely agree. Yeah. Now, what's really interesting that this position, the U.S. State Senate position, has not had a Republican elected since 1972.
Right.
So you are running for a position where we have not had a Republican in that position for 45 years.
Yes.
That's astounding. So with that said, we're having a very different conversation today than we would have yesterday, because when I was looking at the polls the other day from Monmouth Poll University, they were saying you were 20 points behind. FDU reported this morning you're 4% behind.
Yeah.
So that's
with a 3.5 point margin of error.
Right. So how do you feel about that? I mean, it's really a testament to how hard you've been working in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Well, November 6th is the only poll that matters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why the people of New Jersey are going to have a choice. Do they want failed leadership, or they want an opportunity for somebody who is sincerely and truly independent and doing this for the right reason, to be a public servant, not to be a career politician. And so I'm doing this for the right reason. New Jersey's been great for me, great for my family. I want to pay back and make sure others have the same opportunity that I have. And we don't have that in many parts of the state. And so that's why I'm doing this. And we're going to do it all the way through November 6th and make sure that we deliver that message to people.
Right. All right. So on that note, because of course our time is always a little bit limited, and I want to get to something that's really important.
Yes.
Because you have a career that was built in healthcare reform. I know you're passionate about it.
Yep.
But there's been some criticism.
Absolutely.
So do you mind if I read some quotes from your opponent, Senator Menendez, from Twitter?
From
Twitter.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I'm going to
sure.
read this directly from his. So he quoted, "At Celgene, Bob Hugin took advantage of cancer patients by raising prices for drugs without competition and then blocking generic brands from entering the market. A year's supply of Revlimid now costs over $200,000. And he pulled that from an NPR article that was criticizing Celgene
Right,
and
right.
you for the price increases. So I think this is a really important topic to understand. The general public doesn't understand, how does
Right.
the drug
Yeah.
market work?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an important issue, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare needs to be reformed in our country, right? We don't deliver it well. We don't give value for our patients. We pay for things in crazy ways. We need to reform pricing and way we have payments on all of healthcare. But let me be very clear about Celgene. Celgene is an amazing asset for New Jersey and for our country. Has made an incredible impact on the lives of people, taking terminal diseases, now chronic diseases, on the verge of curing them. I was with a patient the other day that was given a 2-year life sentence, death sentence in 2 years, 14 years ago, on Celgene products. Let's be clear. Impact on patients by Celgene's products has been spectacular, and the promise is great for the future. And also the thousands of jobs that have been created in New Jersey. Let's not denigrate the people who have done great work and a hard job of building new jobs in New Jersey. We've got to change healthcare. I'll tell you, my experience at Atlantic Health, my experience in the biotech industry, life science industry overall, I'm going to be a forceful advocate for positive change. We need to reform all of healthcare, including pharmaceuticals. We have to pay for value, pay for drugs and medicines that make a difference in patients' lives. We've got to pay where the patient is not overly responsible for their care. Real insurance. We should cap co-pays at $150 a month. So people have skin in the game, but we're not forcing the sick people to pay an unfair burden. So this is an important issue. I'm going to lead on it. There's nothing in my personal life or my professional life that I'm not proud of, and I'm going to help make sure the healthcare system is better outcomes, more affordable, and better for all Americans when I'm in Washington. I'm not going to just talk about it. I'm going to do things about it.
Yeah. So how does that work? Now, overseas, they say that the U.S. puts so much money into R&D and that the other countries are benefiting from that. How does that work? So I just want to make sure that we're clear, because people hear these talking points and then they just assume that America's doing the wrong thing. So I want to understand, how does R&D get funded, and why are we doing so much more globally, or are we doing more globally?
Well, you have to remember, the research and development industry, the whole ecosystem, innovation ecosystem in America, especially in life sciences, is one of the crown jewels of the American economy. And one of the reasons why we have a stronger economy than Europe is because we invest in healthcare, life sciences, biotech, pharmaceutical R&D. That's one of the reasons why our economy is stronger than in Europe's, and we recovered quicker from the Great Recession. So we've got to be careful. We benefit from doing research here in America because the patents stay here, and then the earnings are founded here, and we get better taxes off of that. So the cycle of investing in R&D is very healthy for the American economy. But also, it's something where you have to make sure that you incentivize people to do it. But we have a great system that in fact, pharmaceuticals are the only part of healthcare which ultimately costs go down because they're going to go generic eventually. And on Celgene's drugs, which you mentioned, so I'm not a spokesperson for Celgene anymore, I don't work there, I'm retired, but there are 13 generic filings on their drugs. So anybody who tells you there's been some ability to stop people from filing generics, there are 13 generic filings against the Celgene drug. So this is just political talk to make arguments about. And in court, the patents will be held up, and they've held up very well. And the company already settled with one patent, one generic company to come on the market. So we have to recognize that the issue with pharmaceuticals specifically is we haven't spent a lot more on pharmaceuticals the last few years. The co-pays and the co-insurance has gone up dramatically. Plan design insurance companies have made the patient pay a much higher percentage of the burden than they previously did. Notwithstanding that, we got to do stuff about all of healthcare, but we're lucky that R&D happens in America. It's good for the American economy. Our people get the drugs first, and the government gets a good deal. I think Medicaid overall, the U.S. pays, both states and federal governments, 40 cents on the dollar. Medicare Part D, which is a negotiated Medicare drug benefit under Part D for oral prescription drugs under Medicare, is about a 35% discount. The government pays about 65 cents on the dollar.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I want innovation to happen in the U.S. I don't want other countries to be...
We're lucky.
Right?
We're very lucky.
And so is there a way that because they control how much drugs cost, though, to their public. We're here that says
buyer,
right. So is there a way that we can level the playing field, keep those patents, but level the playing field so that Europe doesn't have an advantage?
Yeah. The issue, same thing like NATO, where NATO is supposed to spend 3% on defense and they don't, European countries. We have trade agreements that are supposed to prevent some of the most egregious abuses. And the administration is finally saying, let's have fair trade. We want free trade. Free trade is good for the economy, good for jobs, everything else. But fair trade is important. And the industries of life sciences have not been fairly treated by trade agreements. But in exchange for that, that's why the government doesn't pay anywhere near. It's really you and me who are on the commercial side that our health care is more expensive because the U.S. government gets a good deal and foreign governments get a very good deal. But we got to make it better and more affordable for everybody.
Yeah. So we're winding down our time. It's happening so quickly.
Yeah, it goes quickly.
Being from New Jersey, you probably know we are the diner capital of the world. I have to ask you, do you have a favorite diner?
I like lots of different diners. I tell you, I have a plan for the 100-day diners. So I've gone to lots of different diners. I'll tell you, there's so many good ones. Obviously, the Summit Diner is an iconic place. And the Princetonian on Route 1 is one I went to many years ago for a lot. The other thing that is really New Jersey is we're making part of this campaign to go to a lot of different pizzerias. I grew up with going to Summit Pizzeria on Friday nights. It was the only night of the week that we had dessert as a family because things were a little bit tough. But so Friday night was special, pizza and dessert. And so we're going to do diners, but we're also going to do pizza to see the different parts of New Jersey.
I love it. What are people telling you? I'm sure people are coming up to you when you're out eating or at the town halls. What are you hearing on your campaign trail?
Yeah. I think people are appreciative that good people are willing to run and put themselves at risk. Because you don't want to be 90 years old and say, we needed good people to run for office, to take risks, put themselves out there. People who are outcomes oriented, results oriented, and willing to work with others to get things done. So this has been a great campaign for me so far. New Jersey is a diverse state, not just in people and geographies and economies. Some parts of the state are really struggling, other parts doing a little bit better. And it's been energizing for me to meet so many people in so many different parts of the state, to get a chance to listen to them. I've learned a lot what they need. People want to be listened to and heard and acted upon. So I'm just energized, and it's been great, and I'm learning a lot, and I look forward to the next 165 days until we have a chance for the people to speak and make a difference for the people of New Jersey.
Yeah. Is there anything that people don't know about you that you haven't had the opportunity to share, whether it's at a town hall, in a campaign? The fact, we didn't even talk about how you turned around Celgene in 6
weeks of cash when I joined. And
so it was it was going to go out of business. But I mean, in some of that you can hear. But is there anything that people don't know about you that you would love them to know?
I think I don't. One of the things they tell you in politics, you have to say I a lot, and I'm used to more we. But I think when you're a businessman, people think you're some hard, cold person, and I'm great to have come a great family. My parents, my brother's has a small construction business in Nutley. My sister's a retired school teacher, 35 years in Union City. My mother lives in Leisure Village West in Manchester. We're caring people. We care about people, and we're doing this for the right reasons, to make a difference in people's lives, to help people in New Jersey have a better opportunity for the future. I'm a businessman, yes. I want to make good, tough decisions. You got to do things. But we need results. But I care about people, and I'm looking for the vote of every person in New Jersey: race, religion, creed, geography, gender, whatever it is. I think we have to care for all the people in New Jersey, and that's the part of I think that I hope people will see that I'm a Jersey guy, and I really do care about people, because we need people who care about people, do what's best for people, put politics and party behind that.
Yes, and as a native New Jerseyan, what I'm hearing is character counts.
Character really does count, right? You have a choice of 40 years of service or 40 years of corruption, and we're going to make a difference in this election.
Okay. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully I'll be back again after I'm elected to talk about what the progress we're making.
I'm going to hold you to it.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for watching As a Matter of Fact. You can always watch other great programs like this one on our website at hometowntv.org. You can also subscribe and watch us on YouTube at Hometown TV. And finally, please don't forget to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Hometown TV. Have a great day, and thank you for watching As a Matter of Fact.